All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a book with a title that really makes you stop and think, The Problem of Greater Balochistan. I mean, a problem? What exactly is the problem? Let's get into it.
So let's dive right in, because this problem, as the author frames it, isn't just about some place on a map. No, it's about this deep, fundamental conflict between a people's history and the way the world is bordered today.
To even begin to understand this problem, we have to start with the land itself. They say geography is destiny, and for the Baloch people, that is the first, absolutely crucial piece of this puzzle.
Okay, so this is really the most important thing to get your head around right at the start. The author's whole point begins here. The historical homeland of the Baloch people is one single continuous area. But if you pull up a political map today, you'll see it's been completely carved up, split right across the borders of 3 different countries.
And these are the 3 nations. This traditional homeland, which is often called Greater Balochistan, is partitioned across western Pakistan, eastern Iran, and southern Afghanistan. And this map really lays out the core of the issue, doesn't it? The central argument from our source material is right here in front of you. You can see how this one single cultural and geographical area has been trisected by these modern borders that were drawn over the last couple of centuries.
And, we're not talking about a small population here. Just look at these numbers from the author. We're seeing a total of nearly 5 million people who identify as Baloch, but they're living as minorities within 3 different states. That's a huge deal.
So, okay, if the land is divided, what is it that unites the people? Well, it's a powerful and deeply rooted cultural identity that has somehow managed to endure, despite all these political divisions.
This sense of nationhood, this feeling of belonging to one group, it's built on these incredibly powerful pillars that just transcend any border. We're talking about a culture defined by its shared language, its own unique literature, and its ancient traditions.
And right at the heart of that culture is this concept called Baloch Mayar. Now, think of it as more than just a list of rules. It's a central unifying code of honor, hospitality, and ethics that has really guided Baloch life for centuries.
This deep, deep connection to the land just flows through their rich poetic tradition. A line from one of the poems discussed in the book captures it perfectly. "Wherever my beloved's land is, my heart is happy there." It's a sentiment you see over and over again.
So, how did this even happen, right? How did a region that was once unified and sovereign become so fractured? Well, the answer really lies in the ambitions of colliding empires.
This didn't just happen overnight. Before 1839, the Baloch had their own sovereign state, the Khanate of Kalat. But then came the Great Game, this massive imperial rivalry between Britain and Russia. Borders, like the Goldsmith and Duran lines, were literally drawn right through Baloch lands, mostly to serve colonial interests. The final piece, according to the author, fell into place around 1948, when the Khanate was absorbed into the newly formed state of Pakistan, basically cementing the division that we see today.
So, what do we have? We've got a divided land, a unified people, and a history of colonial mapmaking. And all of that brings us right back to our first question, because now we can finally define what the author means by the problem.
The key to understanding this whole thing is a political idea that really shaped the 20th century: self-determination. The principle itself is pretty simple. It's the idea that a people who see themselves as a distinct nation, with a shared culture and history, should have the right to decide their own political future.
And that, right there, is the core of the problem as presented in this book. It's the fundamental conflict between a unified national identity, a shared sense of being one people, and the political reality of a homeland that's been divided by lines on a map. It's a clash between history and modern borders.
And that, right there, is the huge question this work leaves us with. It's a question that resonates far, far beyond this one region, echoing in so many places around the world today where history, identity, and modern borders just don't quite align. It really challenges us all to think about what truly defines a nation.